I shall just begin reading Scratch Off Universe by Hailey Piper in 100 Years of Weird. So here we go. An unmarked white van rolls into the parking lot as the golden hour overtakes the sky. Its presence is an old story, without a happy ending, and Clay wonders what any onlookers would think when he and a pile of other teenage boys spill out of the back. They've come to do great work, but maybe in leaving home, this will be the last they're ever seen. Unmarked white vans are harbingers of such stories. Disappearances and disaster are possible when tampering in the domains of gods. Clay remembers this from the church he doesn't believe in. The van parked several rows back from Pelton's humble baseball stadium. It's a small place, like the town itself, built for high school games. An orange-yellow school bus marks the presence of a visiting team from a bigger place. Oh, hello. Pale siding blocks sight of the bleachers, but as the sky purples, Clay makes out a glowing shimmer along the stadium's upper rim. An indiscernible announcer booms out updates on the game and advertisements for local small businesses. A feed store, the hardware place, Grayson's arcade. These form the lifeblood of Pelton. Hello everyone. Hop to it, Mr. Becker says, yanking open the van's back doors. They've hit the second inning. Now is our time. Just reading Hailey Piper from this book. Clay and the other boys drop to the pavement. Other vans, trucks and cars litter the lot, but most people who plan to show up this evening are already here, meaning the parking lot should be free. Mr. Becker's plan will go uninterrupted. Clay helps haul the equipment out once the van is empty, and shovels and pickaxes clatter onto the pavement, their blades and heads carved deep with unfamiliar shapes as if written in a bizarre alphabet. Doubtful anyone but Mr. Becker can read them, and Clay expects he carved the figures by hand. He's been working on them for years, and he only trusts Clay and the other boys gathered here to handle his great work. Hello. I'm live on TikTok at the same time. There's a power in each of you, Mr. Becker says as he doles out equipment. Maybe it manifests in righteous indignation, or a dream unfulfilled, or a passion unspoken, but it is pure and strong. People grown past your age, they get tangled in the mundanities, fall in love with societal machinations. But you see past that, you're special. The boys smile sheepishly or rub the back of their necks. Clay only knows Aaron Jackson among them, but they all look on Mr. Becker as their leader. He's a spectacled, square-jawed man of firm face and sun-kissed skin, with the rigid air of a physics professor and the roughened physique of an outdoorsman. A nervous edge to his eyes say he's a man with big plans. No one knows that better than Clay. He's walked at Mr. Becker's side since the day of the bird funeral. Clay was a small child then, but 9 years later he's nearly a man himself. So the god's in the ground, asks one boy, scrunching his pinkish face. No, Mr. Becker says, and he passes the boy a shovel. We'll be touching beyond our world. While we tear open this pavement on one layer of reality, we're opening the way to another layer thanks to my calculations. Think of it like scratching one of those gas station lottery tickets. You all know them? The boys nod at him. They understand there are bigger places than Pelton, and they're meant to catch notice of such a place. Good, that'll do for analogies. Is that what you see under the scratch-off part of any value? Of course not. It's what you can get for it, what symbolises that matters. Mr. Becker points to the shapes carved into one shovel's blade. Here comes the nail to scratch away this surface, and the symbols touch our payoff. Hello. Like winning the lottery, another boy says, pulling off his shirt to free brown, muscled arms. Like winning a new god to guide the world, Mr. Becker says, a dream in his voice. A real god, He's explained to Clay that there's a valley between pretending the imagined is real and imagining the possibilities of the future. Clay can't see through Mr. Becker's eye, but he knows the hope in them to fix this world and all its injustices. The dead, the lost, a return of love which is sorely absent. The stadium roars with cheering as if the baseball game has awoken a tremendous beast. The boys glance from its outer shimmer to Mr. Becker's face. "We'd better get a move on," Mr. Becker says. "Can't have that crowd finishing their hot dog and soda pop too soon, can we?" He says it with the kind of hopeful but insistent grin that forces the boys to chuckle. "Hello." Mr. Becker shakes his head and squeezes his pickaxe. "No, we need them. What's a god without his faithful? We'll have to show he's welcome in our layer of reality." "But they're not doing the work like us. Teach," Aaron Jackson says. He graduated Pelton High last year, a football hopeful with no scholarship, no prospects, no future beyond his father's workshop, the last place he wants to be. Maybe he dreams a god will fix all that. "A god won't expect everyone to get it right," Mr. Becker says. "He'll find it charming they tried their best by showing up, and then he'll guide us in the right direction. Now, heave-ho!" He shouts the last as he raises his pickaxe and slams it into a weak patch of pavement. Clay expects Mr. Becker has examined the stadium's lot with focused care, seeking out soft places where grey chunks will shatter under shovel and pick. Do the bizarre shapes make the work easier? As Clay lifts his pickaxe and slams it beside Mr. Becker, he understands the shapes can't aid this layer of reality. For flesh and blood, there is only the sweat and toil and faraway cheering of the crowd. Hello, Ian. Glancing at the stadium, its siding almost forms a low fence as used to divide Clay's backyard from Mr. Becker's. He half expects that friendly yet firm voice to reach over the sky. Maybe before the night's end, it will. A different summer had dropped Pelton into its humid stew on the day of the bird funeral. Since then, Clay has learned that his pet bird Marshmallow was a budgie, with pretty blue and green feathers, a sweet whistle to her voice, but he's been calling that day the bird funeral for too long to scrape the title from his mind. The air was thick with flowery scents, both genuine and drawn from Mum's perfume as she hugged Clay over the backyard's tilled earth. "It's okay, hun," Mum whispered. "God called Marshmallow to heaven, that's all." The phone rang from inside the house, back before Mum finally broke down and got a cell phone, leaving Clay to sob over Marshmallow's fresh grave. He was wiping his face across one arm when he realised he wasn't alone. A glance past the low backyard fence showed Mr. Becker watching from his yard, one arm leaning on the wooden slats. "It hurts," Mr. Becker said, "like a nail on your heart." Clay rubbed at one still teary eye. He'd been crying so hard he could scarcely breathe, but the neighbour's attention startled him into an ordinary rhythm, as if putting his grief on pause. "You know, God took someone I love from me too." Mr. Becker glanced at his hands, olive-spotted and striped white with the old scars. "Not even sure the bastard's real, but Walter..." His name was Walter. He called loving that imaginary God a virtue and loving a real man a sin, so he went to the church, for the sake of imagination. Clay had quit crying by then. He hardly understood Mr. Becker at the time, but a mournful song in his voice lured Clay like flashing silver to a fish beneath a tranquil pond. "If there's any such thing up there, doesn't seem to me like the guy's doing too good a job." Mr. Becker glanced at the sky and then chinned over the fence at Marshmallow's grave. "Not if he takes away the ones we love for no damn good reason. Oh, pardon me, little man." Clay giggled then, both to hear the curse and to be called a man, even a little one. "Walter imagined that God of churches, but I can imagine bigger," Mr. Becker said. "I can know better too. It's only a matter of geometry and time." An annoying touch yanks Clay from the past, and he scratches quick at his shoulder. Sometimes sweat makes him itch, but he expects a bug to have landed on his bare skin and taken a bite. Pelton is home to more mosquitoes than people this time of year. Has Mr. Becker taken summer air into his calculations? Clay is no star chemistry student, but nonetheless he knows heat is more than numbers, a transference of energy. Every touch of friction brings it, and he remembers the last time he heard of people reaching out to touch a god, from the days Mum took him to the church he didn't and doesn't believe in. Instead of digging, the people built a tower, but nonetheless the god of churches swatted them like any summer gnat. Clay says none of this. Mr. Becker must know best. He's been single-minded about the work for most of Clay's life. That determination feeds Mr. Becker's digging. His grey button-down wears stains beneath the armpit, but he won't pull off his shirt like the boys have. Maybe he's embarrassed of his age and gut. Maybe he hopes the god will change the past or the present, something to make him young again. Clay doesn't ask. Keep digging, Mr. Becker says, and then a flashlight sweeps white across his eyes. Clay, Aaron, and the other boys raise arms over foreheads, eyes squinting against sweat and intrusion. A grim silhouette morphs into a blue uniformed security guard. He stands at the edge of a growing patch of torn-up pavement, his pale face and reddish beard twinkling with sweat. "What the hell are you folks doing out here?" he asks. The boys glance at each other, an excuse to turn from the flashlight. They're wise enough not to look at Mr. Becker, though he's the adult and the obvious choice to take leadership and blame. Oh, hello. Reading Hailey Piper. "Ho there," Mr. Becker shouts. He lowers his pickaxe and waves at the security guard. "What inning is this? 5th by my count." "Top of the 5th when I left," the security guard says. "Bottom by now." "Mind telling me what you think you're doing?" Clay leans over the bare stretch of the pavement. It looks like a yellow excavator has reached its dinosaur-like neck across the lot to scratch an itch the world couldn't reach. But really, it's been Mr. Becker and the boys, their own flesh and blood and strange tools. Will Mr. Becker tell the security guard the truth? It'll sound deranged, but Clay almost wants to hear it. He's been immersed in the reality of the universe for so long, he almost relishes seeing Mr. Becker pry someone free of life's mundanities with godly promise. "See these symbols?" Mr. Becker asks, rounding the bare patch. His legs are slower than usual, less steady, and there's a tremble in his shoulders. He moves more like an octogenarian than a man in his 50s. "I see them," the guard says. "Don't understand them or why you've used this stuff to chew up the lot, but you can explain it to the cops." He unhooks a walkie-talkie from his belt and raises it to his mouth. "Hello." Before his thumb can dig into the side and begin a conversation across the roiling summer air, Mr. Becker pretends to trip, swirls on his heels, and uses his awkward yet somehow graceful dance to bury one point of the pickaxe into the back of the security guard's skull. The boys flinch as if they're a single organism. Aaron drops the shovel and grabs at his chest. Clay is petrified, like he's the one pinned in place by curved iron. Mr. Becker jerks his arm back and forth as if pumping water from deep in the earth. Drooling darkness stains the security guard's chest. One last tug and the pickaxe rips free in a wet crunch, the sound of teeth chewing on milk-coated cereal. The security guard drops in a clumsy heap, and fluid fingers coat his scalp in a crimson hand. "I thought this god didn't need any blood sacrifice, Teach," Aaron says. "He doesn't," Mr. Becker says, and there's a nothingness to his face, as uncaring as if he'd swatted away an insect rather than killed a man in cold blood. "But we can't stop now or be stopped. We must finish before the game ends. The god will be insulted by an empty stadium." The warped boom of the far-off announcer sends the boys snatching up their equipment. Back to digging. Clay studies his pickaxe. Shouldn't the blood matter somehow? The shapes on the boys' tools should glow with promising force now that they're taking part in a life, but no god seems to charge them with divine authority. They're only a gaggle of teenagers chopping at a stadium parking lot while a dead body stains the pavement. "Are we damned?" one boy whispers. "This isn't the God of churches, don't you get that?" Mr. Becker snaps, wiping a sleeve across the swamp of his brow. "No one's holding bloodshed accountable. Show your dedication, boys." The boys drive their shovel blades in, and their pickaxes pluck at grey chunks of pavement. Ignore the blood, keep digging. But Clay can't silence the itch in his mind, and his eyes stray to Mr. Becker every time he thrusts at the earth. How long has he been searching for a god? Since the bird funeral? No, that was when he planted the idea in Clay's mind. Mr. Becker has been determined for much longer. Since he came to Pelton? Since he majored in physics at college? Before that? Exactly when was his great heartbreak with Walter that set him on this path? How long has he been seeking this emotional itch to scratch it off his soul? What's that? Keep digging. It must be the 6th or 7th inning now. Another drive of these shapes between pavement into soil, while the crowds cheer for a cause they have yet to know. Clay watches the sweat-soaked boys. If their work is a scratch-off lottery card, is Mr. Becker a gambling addict? Does that make the boys enablers, or has their fearless, hopeful, dreamy leader sucked them into his fatal habit? Keep digging. Don't swat at the bugs. Don't look at the blood. This single-minded drive is familiar. Tonight is the first instance Clay has held special tools to scrape through one layer of reality into another. But hasn't he been digging for this cause the past 9 years? Beyond school and after-school activities and TV shows, there's been little time for friends, relationships, or much of anything. Mr. Becker's purpose has loomed instead. Only now does Clay wonder if he's never given other people a chance at love because he's clung to Mr. Becker's dream since the bird funeral. Pale siding has walled off Clay's possibilities, almost like he's had no choice in whether to focus on the godly prize or to take a chance at tangling in the mundanities of a real life. No chance to learn which one he prefers. "Mr. Becker," Clay says, resting against his pickaxe, "I know you want to fix the world." "Yes," Mr. Becker says, eager. "But that won't bring Marshmallow back." Clay swallows. "Will it?" "No, it won't." Mr. Becker lays his hand on Clay's shoulder and grains of soil rain down his chest. The god can't change the past. "I know," Clay says. "So you know he can't make Walter come back to you, right?" A chill coats Mr. Becker's eyes. His fingers slide from Clay's shoulder, and he turns again to the lot's growing bare patch, its northeastern edge now rimmed with blood. "Let's get back to digging, yes?" Mr. Becker says. "The shapes are near ready, and we've still an inning on our side." The look in his eyes both scares and angers Clay in ways he can't describe, even in his head. Always the digging, always forward in time, never any breaks to appreciate the now. An untapped frustration works up Clay's arms as he wonders what kind of life he might have lived had he been allowed to finish grieving for his poor budgie, sweet Marshmallow. The day of the bird funeral feels stretched across the past, a creature beneath time. A crack crosses the night as he raises his pickaxe high overhead, and a distant cheer follows as if the crowd in the bleachers can see him. The sounds tell him this will be a thunderous blow, and he hopes the pickaxe crunches like the security guard's skull. Shapes broken, alphabet scattered, an omen of failure to come. Clay doesn't mind. He's still young, Better to learn now that it's wrong for anyone to rule a life, be it a beloved dead bird, or a god, or a kindly neighbour like Mr. Becker. The air whistles, and a white meteor with red stitching crashes against Clay's head the moment his pickaxe swings down. Cheering prowls the distance. The nearby boys gasp. Someone mutters or shouts the vaguest sense of words. Home run, they might say, or is it run home? Clay can't tell past the sense of tearing beneath his thoughts, the summer air senselessly trapped in a cold swirl. Early evening is gone, and a black sky coats his vision. He's tumbling, falling into the patch, a pit, and his eyes twinkle with stars. And then the parking lot fades, as if Mr. Becker's shapes now carve Clay's mind. They peel away this layer of reality's skin. He sees everything. The vast expanse of darkness should not exist in the same universe as its tiny lights and tinier people. Earth is a bright blue dot, maybe lit by the force of nearby sunlight, maybe by familiarity, but it is one piece in the endless distances, with only the growing and shrinking of spheres to tell Clay he's looking far across infinity. He wonders briefly if this is what Mr. Becker sought, a god in the fabric of the universe. For one moment, Clay can't blame his kindly neighbour for the years of stubbornness. To witness this beauty, isn't its touch worth a single-minded determination across geometry and time? But then Clay sees another layer, almost larger than this vast expanse. Something moves within the cosmic splendour. This is no god in any way Clay has ever discussed with the others. Mr. Becker cannot grasp how little this presence cares about the work or the faithful or any gathered crowds. There is instead a body shifting beneath the Milky Way's surface. Clay has no words for sizes of this magnitude. Worlds are pinpricks against its enormity. Its limbs across the emptiness between star systems, and its flank might only be measured in lights upon light years. The distance from head to tail is a scope greater than Clay can make out, even from this distorted vantage point. If the creature is a god, it cannot see humanity, let alone fix it. There is only a galactic behemoth travelling the cosmos. The sun, forever screaming, is a buzzy gnat beside the unfathomable head, but its only life forms are made of light, and they are too wise to reach out and touch this behemoth's form. But Mr. Becker is different. He's been carving shapes and seeking pathways all his life. To meet this side of the universal, everything has been his only goal. And now he's reached through the broken veil between one layer of reality and another. An annoying touch rankles the behemoth. It has no Mr. Becker to command that it keep working through this need to scratch. There is no digging here, no baseball, only a body with its colossal head and surface and limbs. The needful impulse flickers across the behemoth's vastness, and without evident thought, it lifts a limb beyond measure, tipped with claws that might scratch away suns and worlds. Clay rouses, and the blackness ebbs, as do the stars and nebulae and everything gargantuan about the universe. He finds Mr. Becker kneeling beside him. The other boys ask questions, tell Clay he'll be okay, their faces all wrinkled in concern. He can't answer them enough to say they have no idea what they're talking about. Cheers crackle in the distance. They're wrong against the night. No one understands what they're cheering for. Not even Mr. Becker can grasp what layer he's broken in reality, exactly what kind of creature he's touched. Clay glances skyward as a cosmic chill passes over the parking lot, the stadium, Pelton, everything. Something too large for his eyes to take in has moved between the world and the sun's heat, but not for long. It's coming down. He can feel it in the wind. Everyone else begins to feel it too, but they'll look up too late to understand where it's coming from. They won't have time for their hearts to seize, to die of panic or fright. They won't even know it's Mr. Becker's fault. Clay alone has time to absorb the rush of a nearing colossal shape. His shoulders rise, skin irritated, and the sudden need to scratch a summer bug bite is the closest he'll ever get in relating to the galactic behemoth's mind. Despite its scale, he sees the curve of it in the last moments, and remembers the tower to reach another god, and thinks of the dead security guard, and understands that in this too, Mr. Becker is wrong. They are all damned. The cold suffocates the air, and Clay shrinks into himself. The roar of a parting atmosphere fills the world. Here comes the nail, looming to scratch a tiny sensation from the behemoth's tremendous flank, an itch they call Earth. That was a Scratch Off Universe by Hailey Piper, and it's in the book Weird Tales, 100 Years of Weird. I recommend it, along with a book called The Weird, which are two of my favourite books now. Yeah, so there we go. Bye.